class 10, all students are well in this lockdown period. Now we start a physics class about reflection of light. Reflection of light. What do you mean by reflection of light? If a beam of light is traveling if a beam of light traveling in a medium is incident on the surface of separation, of another medium, then a portion of incident beam of light comes back to the same medium. This phenomenon of light is called reflection of light. It's called reflection of light. Comes or turned back. Turned back is a very lucid language. Turned back to the same medium, that is first medium. Hence, reflection of light, if a beam of light traveling in a medium is incident on the surface of separation of another medium, then a portion of incident beam of light turned back to the same medium. This phenomenon of light is called reflection of light. Now we know different terms in connection with the reflection of light. The incident ray. The ray of light which falls on a reflecting surface or the ray of light which falls or strikes on a reflecting surface, strikes on a reflecting surface is called incident ray of light, obviously, incident ray. Reflected ray. Now we know about reflected ray. What do you mean by reflected ray? Reflected ray. Incident ray, reflected ray. The portion of light ray incident light ray, obviously, portion of incident light ray turn back to the same medium is called reflected ray. Reflected ray. The portion of the incident light ray turned back to the same medium from where? From the surface of separation, from the reflecting surface to the same medium is called incident light ray turned back from the reflecting surface, remember it, back from the reflecting surface to the same medium, that is to the first medium, is called reflected ray. Write it. Now we know point of incidence. Point of incidence. Point of incidence, the ray of light, ray of which light? Incident light, incident ray, incident ray of light, incident ray of light, incident ray of light, the ray of light, incident, the ray of light incident, but the point, the point, it can be written, the point at which the point at which the ray of light incident, at which the ray of light is incident, the point at which the ray of light is incident on the reflecting surface, on the reflecting surface is called point of incidence. Point of incidence. The point at which the ray of light incident on the reflecting surface is called point of incidence. Now, we know normal at the point of incidence. Normal on the reflecting surface, on the reflecting surface, on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence, at the point of incidence is the perpendicular, is the perpendicular, is the perpendicular drawn on the reflecting surface, on the reflecting surface, on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence, on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence, at the point of incidence. Now, point of incidence, the point at which the ray of light is incident on the reflecting surface is called point of incidence. Normal, on the normal, this is normal, on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence is the perpendicular drawn on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence. Listen the lectures given today so that you can write in your exercise book easily. Now, let us consider this is a reflecting surface. M1, M2 is a reflecting surface. That is, on the upper surface of M1, M2 is smooth, not rough, and plain, not uneven. A ray of light AO is incident at the point O on the reflecting surface M1, M2. This is the incident ray. Now, a portion of incident ray of light is turned back in the same medium, that is in the first medium here. This is named OB. Hence OB is the reflected ray. This is incident ray. Incident ray. This is reflected ray. And if we draw a perpendicular on the point of incidence O on the reflecting surface, then it is the normal at the point of incidence ON. This is the normal at the point of incidence O on the reflecting surface. Now, this is the point of incidence. Point of incidence. Now, the ON is the normal. This is the normal. This is the normal at the point of incidence on the reflecting surface. Normal at the point of incidence. Normal normal at the point of incidence on the reflecting surface M1 M2 on the reflecting surface M1 M2 named it M1 M2. Now angle of reflection, the incident ray which makes the angle with the normal at the point of incidence is called angle of incidence. This is the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. I1, and the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal at the point of incidence is the reflected ray, I2. Though from the laws of reflection of light we have I1 equal to I2, that is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. What is angle of incidence? The angle made by the incident ray with the normal on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence is the normal makes an angle which is called angle of incidence. Again we have the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence is called angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. This is angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. This is angle of reflection. And this is angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. Remember this. Again, repeat it. The angle made by the incident ray with the normal on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence is called angle of incidence. Again, the angle made by the reflected ray, that is OB here, with the normal on the normal ON on the reflecting surface at the point of incidence O is called angle of reflection. Now, we know laws of reflection of light. Laws of reflection of light. First law and second law. We direct write it or define them. First law, that is the law, both laws are obeyed by the ray of light when reflection occurs. Law 1. The incident ray the reflected ray and the normal on the reflecting surface normal on the reflecting surface where at the point of incidence, at the point of incidence all lie on the same plane. 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 That is in the above figure, that is M1, M2, this is AO, incident ray, this is reflected ray OB, and normal at the point of incidence O on the reflecting surface. All lie on the same plane. That is AO, OB and ON all lie on the same plane. Here the plane of the board, white board. Now we write the law 2, that is second law of reflection of light. Law 2. We rush it, write carefully. Law 2. Now we write law 2, reflection of light. Second law of reflection of light. Second law of reflection of light. Law 2. The angle of incidence, that is I, and angle of reflection R. The angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Angle of reflection, that is in the figure above, angle I equal to angle R. Angle I equal to angle R. Hence, second law of reflection of light is the angle of incidence, not incident, angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection, that is in the figure angle I equal to angle R. Now we write some characteristics of images. What is image? Image. At first we discuss image. Image. What do you mean by image? If a diverging beam of light from a point source, that is it comes from a point source, if a diverging beam of light from a point source means point source of light whose dimension is nil, that is no length, breadth or height, it is assumed in ideal case. If a diverging beam of light from a point source means point source of light, after, very important, after reflection from point source, after reflection or refraction also, we discuss it later, refraction or both reflection and refraction, both reflection and refraction. Either actually meet at a point, either actually meet that is converge at a point, or appear to diverge, or appear to diverge, appear to diverge from a point then the second point is called the image of the first one. Then the second point is called the image of the first one, Hence, image, what do you mean by image of a point object? Obviously, if a diverging beam of light rays from a point source, after reflection or refraction, or both reflection and refraction, either actually meet, that is converge, at a point, or appear to diverge from a point, then the second point is called the image of the first. Remember it. In the first case, where actually meet after reflection or refraction, or both reflection and refraction, then in the case, this is occur in the case of real image. That is, there are two types of image. And in the second case, where appear to diverge but actually not meet at a point, this is called the virtual image. Now, write it and carefully listen. Images are of two types. Images are of two types. Image are of two types. Real image and virtual image. Number one, real image, and number two, virtual image. Number two, virtual image. What do you mean by real image? If a diverging beam coming from a point source actually meet at a point, then this point is called the real image of the first. Hence, you write it so that you learn in a lucid way. Real image. First we discuss real image and also its characteristics. If a diverging beam of light rays after reflection, refraction, or both reflection and refraction, or both reflection and refraction, reflection and refraction actually meet, actually that is really, actually meet, meet means converge here, actually meet or converge at a point, then this point, that is at which the light rays after reflection, refraction, or both reflection and refraction actually meet or converge, is called at a point, is then it is called the real image of the first. It is called the real image of the first. The first one, right? Real image, if a diverging beam of light rays after reflection or refraction or refraction or both reflection and refraction actually meet, that is converge at a point, then this point, then it is called, that is at which they meet, is called the real image of the first one. This is the real image. Real image. Now we know about virtual image. Virtual image. Number 2, virtual image. Now, after this, we know about two types of reflection.